Hello and welcome to episode 88 of No Load Time. My name is Obed Velez and with me is the most interesting man in the world, Joel Young.
What's good, No Load Time? Good to be with you again, my man Obed. It's going to be a really fun episode again.
I don't feel tired.
No, I feel great.
I'm good. Joel, we're gonna survive this. It's gonna be okay.
We will survive.
We're
in the end game now.
Yo. Hopefully not, but sure. Yeah.
We haven't seen the movie yet, right? We win, right?
Yeah, so there you go.
We win.
Yeah. I mean, it's not like there's not gonna be any other Marvel movies after that.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Joel,
how you doing, man?
Man, I'm doing great. I mean, we're talking about Marvel here for a second. I mean, brother, I'm thinking a week from now, man, I will be watching this movie.
I know.
In literally 1 week. And I cannot get more excited. I'm staying off the internet as much as I can. There's plenty of accounts that I've had to unfollow, mute.
Mute them.
Mute them. And it's not because of them even posting stuff that's like the stuff that we know that's maybe leaked out or whatever, right? There's been reports of that stuff, but there's also the stuff that's like Marvel's putting out, little spots or whatever. I don't even want to see that stuff, and people are sharing it.
I haven't seen any of those. I just seen. I mean, if I'm watching TV, I'll see it, right? Because it's on TV.
Sure.
But not on purpose. So.
Right, I'm not going on my way. So yeah, 1 week from now, man, I'll be good. I'll see what I need to see. I'm excited for it. I want to go in and have a genuine first time experience watching this, pure genuine reactions. Not sitting there going, "Oh, I saw this on my computer a few hours ago." Like I don't need that. But with that being said, man, since our last episode, I did a little catch up on Cloak and Dagger. A couple episodes in, that's back on Freeform, and it's like I think that series is usually like 8 episodes, 10 episodes maybe, the most on there. So far, so good. If you've watched the first season, you know that Mayhem is a thing, and Mayhem is going to be the main villain of the second season. And I really think that they've done a really good job at taking this character that was kind of a background supporting character and putting her in the forefront in this next season. And like the way that they utilize their powers a whole lot more in the first season, Cloak and Dagger, if they held hands, you saw their powers go off, and then it felt like the rest was just their day-to-day lives and figuring out themselves. This season they have embraced their powers. They're superheroes, especially Cloak. He's going around just doing some awesome stuff with his power set. I'm very impressed to see on the small screen. I mean,
Nice.
it's really cool, and I mean, with the way that DC's going now with their with their the end of Arrow and Legends of Tomorrow, I guess is coming to an end too, I think they said, and you can see that things are changing there now. Disney Plus being a thing, right, and all their Marvel properties, and obviously we saw how good the Marvel Netflix stuff is. It's interesting to see how there are other properties that are on other platforms like Cloak and Dagger being on Freeform or The Runaways being on Hulu, like how they're gonna really in my opinion, step their game up. And I'm saying this before I've even seen anything on Disney Plus, but I just think people are going to really strongly compare that content on there.
Yeah.
Because we'll get to it in a bit, but there's just some leaked footage from some celebration, of one of their shows that's going to be on Disney Plus, and it looks like crazy good, like movie quality. So, I'm happy to see though Cloak and Dagger being successful, and I'm excited for more Marvel content.
Yeah, I'm not too familiar with Cloak and Dagger. I know, again, what I know about them is what was on Maximum Carnage. Like, Maximum Carnage is my Iron Fist. Oh, I know Iron Fist from Maximum Carnage.
And that's a great way to reference it, actually.
Yeah, and I know Cloak and Dagger from, Maximum Carnage.
That's right.
A lot of these characters that were in Maximum Carnage, they show up as like, oh, okay, this is like, I know this guys. So that's like my point of reference when it comes to more obscure sort of his superhero stuff. But cool, yeah. I mean, like you mentioned, DC stuff. It's gonna be. I mean, who knows where it's gonna go from now? Because Arrow's ending, and you mentioned Legends of Tomorrow is potentially ending. Gotham, it's ending. So they're, DC may just go ahead and do a fresh restart on their TV stuff. I mean, they could definitely do it. And maybe they can set up something a little bit more interesting. I mean, Arrow just lost me a while ago, dude. I haven't watched it in a couple of years. I think I stopped watching right around when we started doing the podcast. So wow. like 2 years ago, bro. So
wow.
I dropped off.
Well, just to jump back in there though, like we're talking about the DC stuff. I think looking at, like I just compared Disney Plus, I think the DC Universe streaming service is really now where they're going to probably put more of an emphasis on. I have to imagine, I think Titans seem to be doing pretty well, and obviously Doom Patrol and some of the other shows that they've got coming on there. Swamp Thing, there was a trailer released for that this past week. So it seems like they're putting more of an emphasis on their streaming, kind of the way Disney is doing with their Marvel properties on Disney Plus now.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. Disney Plus again, in it to win it. Did we talk about the pricing stuff last week?
Can't remember. Last week we talked about $6.99.
So $6.99.
November 12th.
Yeah, November 12th. Yeah. Okay, cool. Just making sure.
No, it's a great episode. Go back, guys. Listen to the episode. It was a great one. If you didn't hear it,
it was. Yeah, it was. It's been a blur. It's been a blur of a week.
Oh,
I apologize.
Understandable.
But we do have some more news that came out of Celebration. But yeah, Joe, I haven't done much. Again, I've been like I said, I've been very busy. Finished the MC5 on Son of Sparta mode. That final boss. 2 bosses were really challenging, and I'm afraid to actually go back and play it on Dante Must Die, because that second to final boss was pretty challenging. So I mean, I can probably do it. I mean, I got all the green orbs and all the purple orbs, so I'm done with that. So I may just do that. But Joe, guess what I did on over the weekend, Joe?
Oh.
Jumped back into Battlefront 2.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. Hey, it was a Star Wars weekend.
All right. So they had double XP because of Celebration, right?
Right.
And I wanted to try that new not Galactic Conquest, because Galactic Conquest mode is the one that was already in the game, but the new Conquest mode, that's basically the clone battle in Geonosis. Because I wanted to really try it. It's a new map, and it's a whole new thing that they're doing, and they've added Count Dooku and Anakin and
right.
More characters, Obi-Wan. So they've added a ton of stuff. Again, if you have the game, this is all free. You don't have to pay for any of these updates, and so Joe, it's really glitchy. This mode is really glitchy.
Oh no.
I don't know. I see. I really can't remember how many players. But it was definitely more than the usual. I think this was like a 60, like a 30v30 that they were doing. Yeah, because there were definitely, and I couldn't get an actual count, but there was definitely a lot more players than the regular 10v10, 20v20. This was like a bigger thing.
It's crazy.
But at the same time, again, Frostbite, it has been EA's Achilles heel. That engine is not good, man, because it started chugging when we had like a lot of people on screen just running around and trying to get from point A to point B. It started chugging really bad. There's a part on this mode where you basically have to take over certain map points and then wait for the clone dropships to come in, and then you have to board the dropships. You go on the dropships over to one of the dreadnoughts, and dude, when it was landing inside the dreadnought, textures weren't loading. I thought it was like the first time, dude, but I played the mode for I played like 3
and it kept happening?
It kept happening.
Oh,
and
no.
And textures weren't loading, and like I was landing on a ship that I could see the rest of the map below me. It was It was bad.
What the heck was going on?
It was bad,
Oh
dude.
my goodness.
I mean, the mode, it's fine because it's fun, right? But
Yeah, yeah.
when it has the characters, because they've added a bunch of stuff. They've added, like I said, they have Anakin and Dooku and Grievous and all this stuff happening. That you can select these characters now, and it's pretty cool. And it's a lot more accessible. Like, you don't need like 1,000,000,000 points to get the characters. Like, only you only need like 5,000 points, and you can grab one of the characters as long as they're available for you to grab on the map. But it was really glitchy. It was like I wanted to go back and play some Blast, because that's usually what I play on Battlefront. But I wanted to really try this mode. And there was 2 pretty big updates. One of them was that, and the other one was Anakin and some other stuff they've added.
Sure.
They've added a ton of clone trooper cosmetic changes. You can choose between different like basically like your troop number, like the 401st and all this stuff.
Nice, nice.
Because it wasn't the 501st, it was like the 401st or the 403 or something like that. And
Nice.
and some of the like the infiltrator and all this stuff, and they've added that, and it's pretty cool. I mean, it's Battlefront. It's still fun. That game's good. Regardless of.
Bro, we should just go
what
in
happened.
there and stream that one of these days on our Twitch channel.
Seriously, we should. Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably during the summer.
Yeah, it'd be a good.
If
idea.
we have a chance, just advocate for that game, because that game's pretty good, man, and it's super cheap.
It's Star Wars. We'd have fun.
Yeah, exactly. But speaking of EA and Star Wars, Joel,
Let's jump into it.
Yeah. Let's go ahead and we'll do the series later, because just to have a smooth transition on this one. Over Celebration on Saturday, we actually had a first look at Jedi Fallen Order, and this is basically the serious version of Rebels, if you want to call it, because it takes place right after Order 66. You have this young Jedi that's trying to blend in and not use the Force and not get spotted. He's getting chased by what looks like an Inquisitor.
Definitely.
Yeah. And it looks good. Wall running, Force push, Force grab, lightsabers. This is basically like a next gen Force Unleashed, if you ask me, from what I could see. I'm hoping the story is good. Hopefully, we'll see. And best of all, Joel, EA themselves came out and said no microtransactions. No loot boxes. Not a single player story driven experience. Here you go. Like that didn't come from Respawn. It came from EA directly, which is really weird. And again, take it as you may, right? It's good to be a little apprehensive to EA's wording when they come out and say, hey, we're trying to do this, we're trying to do that, but at the same time, it's credit where credit's due. They're coming out and saying, this is what you guys wanted, this is what we're giving you, here you go. And you know what, you have to, like I said, credit where credit's due, and I appreciate EA stepping up, coming out, and just putting that messaging out there. That speaks volumes to me as a Star Wars fan first, and as a consumer. So yeah, but yeah, Joel, what do you think?
Yeah, I was impressed with their reveal trailer. I think from a story standpoint, this kind of is safe in the sense where you can have a lot of Jedi action that people love and miss about. We talk about games like Force Unleashed or Old Republic or different things, right? I think those are like the games that really set the world on fire in essence from a Star Wars video game, right? Front, and I think that's just because of the type of player action, right? That you get in those kinds of games, lightsaber action, etc. This game looks that they're trying to recapture that again in this new generation. Diverse. We talked about in our last episodes about diversifying itself from Battlefront. I was saying how I'm glad there's just one campaign based, not multiplayer. It knows what it is, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's what's really going to help it. From a story standpoint, I'm very impressed. I do know that they've said that they have some connections to, I don't know how familiar you are, Obed, with what they're doing in the comics with the Star Wars Darth Vader, Dark Lord of the Sith, comic series that they have going on there. They've taken some inspirations from there. And there's some obvious cues in the trailer. It's really cool, like the Purge Troopers and a Sinister Sister and other stuff that's really, really fun and cool, which makes me wonder what other things that they've not shown in the trailer and the gameplay that makes me excited to play it even more.
Yeah.
So, and I think that's what's gonna be cool about it. Like we're familiar with timeline, but there's a lot of deep, rich stuff to be explored there that fans I think will be excited about. So yeah, I'm pretty pumped.
Yeah, I'm on board. I mean, it looks good. At this point, I'm trusting Respawn with anything they're doing for the time being. You know, they Titanfall 2, a severely underrated game. That game it's fantastic, and of course they basically turned battle royale upside down with Apex Legends, with no one saw coming, and it's like I don't know where they're dropping this game, and it made a huge impact on the industry. So I'm very much looking forward to this. It looks good. Hopefully visually it's gonna be good. I'm just hoping that they stay away from Frostbite. Again,
Yeah.
Frostbite can generate some really good visuals, but I'm not sure. I think that Respawn uses or likes to use the Source engine, which is an old engine that Valve used back in the day when doing Half-Life 2. But it's an engine that was created with the intent of it having room to grow, and they've been able to accommodate a lot with that engine, and that's where Titanfall and Apex Legends and those games were built on, and they run well, they look fine. So I'm just hoping that this game can not only look great but perform well on current gen systems, because we're not gonna get any next gen this year. So
Nope.
so we're hoping that this runs well. They did announce a date, Joel, November 15th, right?
Yes, and that's perfect timing.
Oh yeah, right before Christmas. They're gonna get the Black Friday crowd. I'm sure that there's gonna be like a PS4 bundle or something with this thing,
Yeah.
like with Battlefront. So if they put that out for the holidays, I'm sure that this game's gonna do well, and I'm hoping that does well overall, and it reviews well, it sells well, and hopefully EA can see that there's value on the single player experiences. So
Yeah, I'm on the same boat. I really think that it's great that they've diversified themselves from that multiplayer. I know they killed one of their multiplayers that was going to even be coming out. It seems nice that we're going to have a little fresh taste right now in our mouth.
yeah,
with EA.
especially after Anthem, and that's
Yeah.
been a disaster. So
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm hoping. I mean, EA had they had a pedigree back in the day, and then they were top notch. They were a top notch developer, top notch
Absolutely.
publisher. But then the industry started shifting, and they I think they just shift too hard when it came to the industry itself, trying to make a potential shift to newer stuff coming in.
Yeah.
So I think that I'm hoping again that they do well, and yeah, we'll see in November. I'm hoping to get a preview around E3,
I'm sure.
and hopefully we'll see what this is all about.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, Joe. But also coming out of Celebration, man, we had a sneak peek of the Mandalorian. Was that actually just released publicly, or is still leaked?
No, that's not been released at all publicly. The internet's a thing, guys. Things
it.
are out there. That's all we're saying. But Obed and I have seen some of the stuff that was shown at Celebration, and I alluded to it early in the beginning of the show when I was talking about the quality of PS Plus. PS Plus. Wow, the quality of Disney Plus. Wow,
Joey, we gotta pay the bills.
I know. I had to name drop it, guys. Sorry.
We gotta pay the bills somehow, but
right.
I mean, you don't have to be such a fanboy.
Just plugging in Sony PlayStation DualShock everywhere they can.
Joel over here being a total pony, man.
Just cashing checks, guys. Disney Plus, the quality of Disney Plus is, we talked about it in the beginning of the episode. We're saying how, the Marvel properties are going to be on there. These good things have high budgets. Well, what we saw with The Mandalorian, or those that were Celebration saw, they saw that, look, like, this thing looks very cinematic. Like, it literally looked like a movie trailer from what we were watching, I'm very excited. I mean, some of the graphical stills. They also Jon Favreau showed some visual effects work they were doing for like a TIE fighter, and just showed their process of creating this thing over and over and over, and that was public. That was during the panel part, and I was blown away. I was like, this guy's really going for it. Not that I expected anything less, just when you actually get to visually see some of this. So. Yeah, Obed, I'm really excited to see what the Mandalorian fully is about, because you're talking about, the Boba Fett history, the Jango Fett history. We're talking about a lot of stuff there that has not been touched before on the screen, aside from the Clone Wars series.
Yeah, and I'd rather see this than a Boba Fett thing. I never. Yeah. Man babies and fanboys are gonna burn me for this one. But I never found Boba Fett interesting. I thought he was a cool looking bounty hunter, but other than that, I didn't see like this thing. Oh my god, he's so cool.
I didn't want a Boba Fett movie either.
Yeah.
Would I watch it? Of course, it's Star Wars.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's not. There's like a slew of other movies. I mean. We've talked about Obi-Wan. Like, those are things that actually matter. Why would you do a Boba Fett thing? So, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm curious to see where this one goes, and I'm actually a lot more interested in watching something like this than something, Boba Fett related. I mean, this may be Boba Fett related, but we'll see. But we'll see. One prediction that I made, Joel, that I told you offline.
You did.
Dude, I bet he's looking for the Slave One. And, so you can, you do 4/18/2019
on the show.
Prediction, and we've been pretty good with the predictions, Joe, because we'll go into that in a minute.
That's gonna be great.
I think he's looking for the Slave One because it's kind of like a Mandalorian heirloom sort of thing, and of course we know that Boba Fett got digested by the Sarlacc, and. I'm curious to see where it goes, and I'm curious to see if we're gonna even see any other characters. I know that the droid bounty hunter, what's the name? They said that he's gonna be on the show.
Yeah,
and
this is terrible Star Wars fans.
Yeah,
what are we talking about here?
Yeah, exactly. Jill's looking for the name.
Absolutely.
It's like, nah, I don't want to say a name because then the fanboys will keep burning me. They're already burning over there.
Like, what are you doing?
Yeah. It's IG-88.
Yep, the Sentinel droid.
Yeah, so IG-88 is gonna be part of this show, and he was gonna be voiced by it was a comedian or someone that we've talked about in the show. Who was it?
Man, guys, sorry, we are tired.
I'm sorry, guys. So it's like we are super exhausted.
We're just
so
like,
none of these names are coming out.
In the article I have here, I don't see the actual name of the dude, but I know what you're talking about. They actually posted about it around Christmas time on his Instagram, Jon Favreau.
Okay, yeah. So, so we'll see. So, Taika Waititi was gonna be the voice.
Yes.
Yeah.
He also directed a few of the episodes.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, we'll see where this goes. It's gonna be interesting. Yeah, our Star Wars rust is showing, Joel. I feel
No,
ashamed.
man, I'm not. I'm
Look,
not rusty. I'm just
ugh,
tired.
yeah, man.
I
But
love.
yeah, I'm excited about
Yeah.
the Mandalorian and whatever Star Wars related they have at Disney Plus. I mean, their lineup looks phenomenal for
They
now.
got the
So far,
Cassian Endor show that's gonna be on there for the dude from Rogue One. You're gonna have the Clone Wars animated, which that trailer, if you haven't seen it, what are you doing, internet? Go out and watch it now because that was phenomenal. There's a lot of really good stuff coming to Disney Plus. That's
yeah,
just Star Wars related, man. Can't wait.
yeah, yeah. We'll see. Joel, let's go ahead and jump into a lot of gaming news that we have. Um, let's start with a couple of pretty cool all-in-one retro consoles, and there was an announcement that a few weeks ago that Sega is going to be doing their own Sega Genesis slash Mega Drive mini console, and this is not like the ones you'll see in stores now that are made by Ad Games. Those consoles are not good.
Yeah.
So if you see them in store right now, just um, it's like buy at your own risk kind of thing. You know, they're not good. So you guys are being warned. But Sega's actually doing their own. They're partnering with a Japanese company and actually producing this hardware units. So they went ahead and showed a lot of a lot of games already. So I just want to go through some of the lists because there's this so far this list is pretty solid. But I think I mentioned it a couple weeks ago that this console was coming out, and I did not talk about the games that they announced. They announced 10 games. The console is going to have 30 built-in games. Come in with two traditional 3-button Sega Genesis pads. The games that were initially announced were Altered Beast, Castlevania Bloodlines, Comic Zone, Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine, Echo the Dolphin, Gunster Heroes, Channing Force, Sonic the Hedgehog, Space Harrier 2, and ToeJam and Earl. So those were the initial games that got announced. Yeah, you know, you definitely got some retro and classic Sega stuff. You know, Altered Beast is not a great game, but it's, you know, a good throwback game sort of thing. Castlevania Bloodlines is an excellent Castlevania game. So highly recommend it. You know, and you got things like Comic Zone and you know, of course, Sonic the Hedgehog. Gunstar Heroes is a great game. So pretty decent list on those 10 games. But they went ahead and announced some new games today. And some of those games, I have the list right here. Don't go away, list. What are you doing? There we go. Thunder's Force 3 is Shoot 'em Up, Super Fantasy Zone, Musha, World Evolution starting Mickey Mouse and Donald Duck, Streets of Rage 2, The Hybrid Front, Landstalker, Contra Hardcore, Dino Brothers 2, and there's a game here that I don't think this game's gonna come out in the US version. Is Game no Kasunome Otoyoku. That game is probably not gonna come out over here. That's probably going to be on the Japanese version. And some other games that got announced for the US version. It's, Earthward Jim, Sonic 2, Castle of Illusion, and, Shinobi 3 that were confirmed for the US version. So we're not going to get, unfortunately, we're not going to get Thunder Force and, not Thunder Force, but Musha, which is a very highly sought after game for the Sega Genesis. And of course, Game no Kasune Otokuyu is not coming out. So Dino Brothers 2, I think Dino Brothers 2 was a Capcom game that came out under a different name. No, I'm thinking of something else. But yeah, I mean, this is a pretty solid list, man. I'm impressed. I again don't just stay away from those flashback, ad games consoles. If you're looking for a Sega Genesis thing that you want to have or collect, wait for this one to come out. Comes out September 19th. Or just get the Sega Genesis collection that's available on everything, PS4 or Xbox Switch. $30 and you get, I think, 40 Sega Genesis games. So, that's the first one that we got a quick update this week, Joel. No price yet on this thing.
Not yet.
Yeah, so I'm thinking this was going to be like $80 or something. Probably comparable to the Super Nintendo Mini. More likely.
I'm really happy about the lineup. I think that's the real seller for me is like there's so many great different options that you can play on here.
Yeah.
Hopefully the price is fair, like you're saying. I don't think they do anything egregious, but we'll see.
Yeah, those Disney games those Mickey games on Genesis are great.
Yeah.
Not Fantasia. Fantasia is like garbage. Yeah. Fantasia is an absolutely useless game. It's not even worth to hold my door open.
Oh my god,
dude, Fantasia is so bad. The game is so bad. All right, but yeah, just going back, Castle Evolution is fantastic, and World's Revolution is great with Mickey and Donald. Of course, Streets of Rage 2. It's Streets of Rage 2 is one of my favorite games ever. It's phenomenal. So.
I was gonna say that's the one that stood out to me the most. Streets of Rage 2, because I have a friend that I used to play on his Genesis together. We used to play Streets of Rage 2 all the time. So like the moment I saw that on the list, my eyes glowed because I remember, bro, playing that game and I was like, This is how it feels, that nostalgia feeling where like, well, it's $80.
Damn, so good.
Streets of Rage 2 was a fun one, man.
Yeah. I mean, if you want Streets of Rage 2, man, the Genesis thing, it's pretty good. It's on Switch. It's $30.
Yeah, so, I might.
It's pretty good deal if you ask me, because you get a bunch of games. But yeah, Sonic 2 is the best Sonic game probably. Shinobi 3 is a phenomenal game. So, I'm looking forward to see what the final list is, and for US, and then I'll consider it. Joel, something that I like, but I may not consider, is the Capcom Home Arcade, which is a gigantic Capcom logo.
It's cool though. It looks cool.
It looks cool. It looks cool. With basically a dual arcade stick. So you got 2 sticks, plus 6 buttons on each. What I like about this, Joel, is that they're using Sanwa parts. They're not using cheap, Chinese buttons or anything. They're using legit Japanese buttons for this arcade setup. It looks cool. Like, to me, I know that Giant Bomb was hating, and it was like, and Jeff was like, "Oh, this looks like trash. It's ridiculous." I get the Capcom logo. You know what?
I think it's cool.
It's so cheesy that it's so cool to me, that I would love to have it. But Joel, the games lineup, it's only 16 games, dude, and it's not great. I mean, of course, you got Street Fighter 2 Turbo and Darkstalkers, Super Pro Soul Fighter. But dude, I mean, Alien vs Predator is great. This is the only time that Alien vs Predator has been available for anything outside of the arcade, which is incredible to me. And I remember spending so much money playing this game because it's so good. But it's a shame that it's included in this thing that it's probably going to be like $200. And only 16 games, man.
Yeah, it's limited.
And then some of the choices are weird too. Like Capcom Sports Club, no one cares about that. Eco Fighters, I played Eco Fighters. I actually have Eco Fighters. It was on one of the Capcom collections for the PSP. That I actually got those and played on the Vita. But it's not good. Giga Wing's great, right? Pro Gear, I don't even know what it is. It's crazy because I'm a huge Capcom fan and I don't even know what Pro Gear is. Strider's great, Final Fight's great, Ghouls and Ghosts. It's I don't. Do you really want to play that game? Do you really want to torture yourself with Ghouls and Ghosts? I mean, I don't know, but yeah. I mean, I really don't know where they're going with this lineup. This thing's again expensive. Is going for 229 euros. So it doesn't have a US released announced yet. But yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. I don't know. It looks cool though. It looks cool. Like I wouldn't mind having it just because it looks so cool. But that game's lineup is it's not great. So, but yeah, what do you think, man?
It does make me feel like pulling the trigger. To me, like I think my response to you, even the first time I saw it, and we were talking about this initially, was I was like, it looks cool. Like I know, like you were saying, some people think it might look like it's a little kooky and whatever, like design wise, but I think it's cool.
Yeah.
But there's nothing. It's for me personally, it's a little bit of a nothing burger. I'm not inclined at all to get this. I'm sure there's gonna be people out there who are really happy and excited, but I don't see it really setting the world on fire, Obed.
Yeah, I mean, unless they revise that games list for US, I doubt it.
Yeah.
Unless they announce that it has some sort of expandability, because it does have a USB port in the back. Not only the USB power port, but it has a separate USB port.
Mm.
So I mean, can you load ROMs into this thing?
That's a good question.
Are ROMs even legal now? I mean, these ROMs are 20 years old. They're definitely past their prime.
Yeah.
These arcades are not out there making money anymore. So, Capcom could give you the opportunity to load your own stuff. I can't remember what my CPS ROMs are, so I don't know. I'll have to look for ROMs in some shady places, and we'll see. But something interesting that came out, Joel, just a few minutes before we started recording, is that this the stick itself is using an emulator that's basically an open source fan project based out of MAME, and it's the FB Alpha emulator. And some of the guys that contributed towards the code are not excited that Capcom's gonna make money on something that they worked on. I mean, at the same time, you're working on something that's not technically supposed to be. But Joel, how do you feel about this guy's just trying to, get salty for Capcom using their emulator?
I see where they're coming from for sure, because it's like when you it does kind of take a little bit of the magic away when you find out what these guys are trying to use, right? That they're using someone else's already pre-made emulator, right? At the same time, it's like, wow, they're still making an effort to get this thing out there, and they're acknowledging the work that you've done, right? So, and you should, if you're talking about something that's not in its prime at all, you're talking about something that's it's taking you back, right, to another time, then like you should be happy that's having a bigger platform to be more widely accessed, more mainstream audience being aware of this, right? Because of the platform that's being put on. So I'd be a little proud of it also.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it has to do something with licensing, right? And
Sure.
how the agreement for this guys went. I mean, Capcom could very well just switch what they're trying to do. This thing doesn't have a date yet,
No, yeah.
if I'm not wrong. Yeah, so this thing doesn't have a date. They can very well just go with MAME, which is open source, and no one's gonna care about them using MAME on their machine. And I'm pretty sure that MAME, as it is right now, can run all of these games on a toaster, no problem. So that's another option that they have. So
Sure.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, we'll see. Depends on how expensive this thing is here, and what the final games lineup is. I'll consider taking another look at this. Joe, Xbox, no disc edition, or the sad edition as I call it. Because it's Xbox One S old digital edition. It's the SAT E or Xbone SAT E.
Bro, I was just about to make a joke about that, but I don't think it's good for the recording. So
$250. It's too much money. It's not worth your time, guys. Just move along. That's all there is to say to this, man.
We were talking actually pretty positively about the idea, like the concept of this, and we were saying like if you're gonna do something like this, make it like 100 and change or something. This is ridiculous. $50 savings for an all digital. No.
Yeah, I mean you get 3 games out of it. Joel's just shrugging over there. He's
next, like it doesn't move me.
Oh no, not at all. I mean, this is definitely not the product for us.
I know.
At all. Yeah, it's funny because the Kotaku article has a Division 2 bundle with the Blu-ray, with the 4K Blu-ray drive for $249.
With the Blu-ray drive. Oh my goodness.
Blu-ray drive. It's the May 7th. It's the release date. $249.99, comes with 3 games. The Sea of Thieves, Forza Horizon 3, and Minecraft. So, I mean, if you guys wanna, if you guys have money to burn and wanna do a review on this thing, because that's probably the only thing it's gonna be good for, go ahead. This is actually not a bad idea for people that run tournaments or things like that. But what tournaments run on Xbox?
I was gonna say, Obed. We were at Seotaku and
Seotaku.
We found one, Obed.
We found one Xbox. We did find one Xbox.
It wasn't even being used for competition.
No, but then you go into the more the esports plane, right? And it's gonna be either PS4, PC. There's no Xboxes around. I mean, it's a Microsoft. What are you doing for sure? For me on this one, man.
And it's sad because, like I said, we were talking good about the concept of this early.
Yeah,
whatever.
Yeah, we'll see. Not much to say here, guys. I'm sorry. It's just that it's such a gigantic dud. I was actually looking forward to this thing. It's the same size too. It's ridiculous looking because it's I don't know. It looks like very little effort. When on to produce this thing. I mean, it could be one of those things, Microsoft testing the waters, but sometimes they test the waters for a month and they just. I don't see this thing lasting until the end of the generation. This is gonna be like a very limited run of this thing. I don't think they're gonna.
Only a few people will have them.
Yeah, very few people have it, and I don't see little Jimmy asking. He's back. Little Jimmy's back, asking his aunt for a third Xbox, and I don't think his aunt's gonna be very happy about buying him one that has less features than the one he already got. So.
If she even knows the difference, he won the Xbox One X, he got the Xbox One S, and now he wants the Xbox One S all digital Supernova edition. She doesn't know anymore.
Oh man, poor Jimmy.
Poor little Jimmy.
We'll see what happens to him. But Joe, big news for this week is that finally Mark Cerny came out of his tech cave and gave Wired an exclusive first look at what they're calling it the next generation PlayStation is. They're not calling it the PS5.
Right.
So just to put it out there, I'm going to still tag PS5 on this thing because, yeah, sure. But he came out and gave us some very impressive specs. And we're just going to go over some of the things that Mark Cerny confirmed that they are working on for the next PlayStation. More importantly, right now would be third generation Ryzen 3, third generation Ryzen processor, not necessarily Ryzen 3. Could potentially be a Ryzen 3 just to keep costs down, but it'll feature full 8 cores, Same as the cell processor. So this is definitely just on CPU. It's definitely a step above PS4 Pro. Like this is
Yeah.
like a massive step forward.
Yeah.
So this is a just on CPU alone. It is a big difference. So the other thing is that it'll feature the new Navi graphics processor. So they're not talking teraflops on this thing, and I'm thinking that they don't want to turn teraflops into the next, the next battle, right? When Blu-ray was Blu-ray versus HD DVD and PS4 Pro versus Xbox One X. They don't want to. I think they're staying away from that teraflop thing, and they don't want to turn that into the next, continue that battle. So so they're moving forward with that architecture, and some of the things that they confirmed is that Sony made a deal with us, and we lent their we lent the name No Load Time as a marketing feature for the for the next PlayStation. No, so that basically what they're doing is that they're using no loading times as one of their marketing pushes, saying that this console's so fast that transfer rate between hard drive and all this speeds are so high that load times are gonna get cut significantly. They speculation is that Mark Cerny speculate based on the interview. Speculation is that this will have an SSD. I doubt it. This may have very well have something like a hybrid, a hybrid drive or something like a Intel Optane sort of thing with a hybrid drive, and that's how they can get this data transfers going. But something very impressive, Joe, just going back to the no load time stuff, is that they were demoing of Spider-Man.
Yes,
The PS4, PS4 version of Spider-Man, whereas fast travel on Spider-Man on a PS4 Pro will take you 15 seconds. It'll take less than a second on this thing. It was 0.8 seconds, and they measured it. It's that to me is incredible. So, Joe, I'm gonna let you interject. So I can go here forever.
Yeah, no, that's exactly where I was going. You went exactly there. When we're talking about the no loading times, so that specific demo was showcasing the power of SSD, and they were showing how on the PS4 Pro, like 15 seconds is not bad at all. That was considered very advanced and innovative, right, for what it is. But going into that 0.8 seconds, not even a full second, just to make fast travel, which is shows the power of the RTX. How it's quickly you're getting to the next place, and it's quickly generating the world that he's in. Where the character's going. That's gonna be game changing, right? You start talking about the ability to have the ray tracing, right? Like, Obed, that changes the game even more. Like, I don't know if you want to expound on what that even is for some people out there who don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna get too technical. This is not Digital Foundry, so we want to keep it, safe for the little ears when it comes to tech specs and all this stuff. But I think that just having hardware that can load games in faster and can perform at native 4K 60
and can actually go up to 8K,
upscale to 8K. Like, people are saying, oh, the PS5 is going to do 8K. It'll more than likely checkerboard upscale to 8K. Right. It'll probably have some sort of solution like that. Something that caught my ear on this one, it's that they're going to be using, of course, ray tracing being a big graphics thing that NVIDIA has been pushing on their graphics card. Mark Cerny said that there's ray tracing will be part of the graphics on this console, but they're using that same technology that they're using for lighting and using it to create more realistic audio. And that to me is great. I mean, audio on video games, of course, has come out a long way, and but when it comes to uh, the audio from the PS3 going up to the PS4, it's very similar, right? There's like no noticeable differences. It's still uncompressed audio, and that's all great, right? Uh, but there was not an actual leap. Like there was no Atmos and no DTSX or things like that. So this is probably going to be like a new tech that Sony's going to do and create like a 3D audio that's going to be embedded within the console. And I'm assuming we'll take advantage of whatever headsets are going to be available for this, or if you can still plug in headsets to your controller. I'm hoping that would also be the case. But I found that very interesting too, man.
Yeah, really, really excited about those specs. I also found it interesting about the timing of this whole no loading time rather push, where we're also talking about last week at least the PS5 or PSN Plus edition that could be coming out, where it's an extra fee on top of your PS Plus fees, where you'll pay just have dedicated servers and having essentially a seat held for you where you don't have to wait for a party, right? You can just jump right in and play. Like, this is all stuff that is interesting, and seeing how the community would accept this. On paper sounds like this something that even if you didn't necessarily thought you wanted right away, you might go ahead and just pay for it because it could be a good sales tactic. We'll see. Mark Cerny also talked about the backwards compatibility. I think that was another one that stood out to me. We've talked about that before several times on the show, about how important that would be. It's not necessarily a requirement, but it would be a killer feature just because that's what their opposition competition has done already. And the wording that was used is that, well, backwards compatibility, but it will not be download only backwards compatibility, which is what you and I said would be best case scenario. We could just literally put a disc in and it work. I mean, that's amazing.
Yeah, I think that's going to be, and it's basically confirmed that this is 100% backwards compatible with PS4.
Right.
So we don't know if it's going to go back to PS3 or PS2. Although, I mean, at this point, just to ask that, it's kind of preposterous if you ask me, right? Because at this point, if you keep going back to your PS3 games and you have a PS4, you got a problem, right? Unless you have a game that you're like, absolutely in love with, that is not available on PS4, that hasn't been, there's no like definitive edition or something like that. Then sure, but even myself, with as much as I love MGS4, just thinking about going back and playing it, it's rough, man. It's rough. So there was an article today, Joel, that interestingly enough came out and said that the one of the Xbox projects that they're working on has more quote unquote advanced specs than what Mark Cerny touched upon. So we'll see. I think that Microsoft is going to do to again, the rumor is that there's going to be two consoles. One is going to be an entry level. One's going to be a high end console. So I think this PlayStation is probably going to be like towards the higher end. Speculation on pricing is that it's going to be around $500. With for a console with this specs, that's in my opinion that's acceptable in my opinion, right? But at the same time, I don't want Sony to shoot themselves in the foot and say and come out with this console and charge a ton of money. If Xbox is going to, sorry, I hit my mic. If Xbox is going to come out, and I got passionate. Is Microsoft going to come out and give us something that's more advanced than this for the same price? I don't see that happening, Joe. Just because Microsoft, with their move towards services, and the way that they're treating their hardware line now, as their premium stuff like the Surface line and all this stuff, they're gonna probably price themselves out on that Anaconda. The other console, the other one that's rumored to be like a 4 teraflop, sort of like an Xbox One X but with more features, console. That one I can see being at $399 at launch. This one, the PS5, I think it's gonna be 500, and then probably 600 for the more advanced Xbox. I mean, it's if Xbox price, see, and I don't see themselves going very aggressive with the pricing because of that Xbox One S, the old digital, being stupidly expensive in my opinion. So I don't see them trying to be a little bit more conservative when it comes to pricing. I think they're gonna just go all out and charge whatever they want,
Yeah.
and we'll see. But yeah, very interesting stuff. Some things that I called that I it's been this podcast has been prophetic to say the least.
We've been talking about this
on many things.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so. I'm really excited. I'm not one to get too excited for like year one consoles. This may be a year one buy for me, depending on the lineup. Of course, speculation is that all of these consoles are going to come out next year. I don't think this year we'll see anything new except for the smaller Switch. There's a rumor that the Switch Pro, or the more advanced model of the Switch that they were working on, is going to get delayed because of battery life issues. So, yeah, we'll see. It's very exciting to talk new consoles, but at the same time, I'm very cautious. Sony has been acting very weird lately. There was, you know what? I'm not gonna touch on those news this week. I may wait and talk about it on the next episode. But you probably know what I wanted to talk about. I
sure do.
So, because I want to think about it and word it properly. I don't want it to come out and it's sort of a touchy subject.
Sure.
It's a touchy subject. It sort of is. So I don't wanna jump in and not be prepared for it, because I want to. So
that's fair.
But yeah, I mean, we'll see. Again, I'm curious now for Microsoft's E3, because they're definitely gonna reveal something or talk about something, and then whatever event Sony does again later this year for new games lineups, releases, and potentially new consoles. So looking forward to that, man.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Joel, that's what I got. I don't know if you have anything else, but I am done, sir.
Absolutely. Well, guys, thank you so much for taking time out of your day listening to us here on No Load Time. We really appreciate it, and we want to invite you to stay with us, come back, enjoy some more, go back and listen to some of our past episodes. You can do that by being a subscriber. Subscribe to our show, our podcast version on iTunes, Google Play, SoundCloud, and Spotify. Also, make sure you're a subscriber on our video version on YouTube. We appreciate it. Give us a like, share the video, share of course, the podcast as well. And of course, be connected with us on our social media. That's how you can see when we're posting about our latest episodes, news, etc. Give us a follow at No Load Time. That's at No Load Time on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Twitch. Hopefully, Obed and I in the summer will get some time to do some Twitch live streaming. We'll see. But yeah, guys, also feel free to send in emails in, right? We talked about some different stuff. Maybe you got some opinions or comments or questions you might have. Send an email to noloadtime@gmail.com. It's noloadtime@gmail.com. We welcome it. Maybe we'll even discuss it here on the show. But again, guys, thank you so much, and we look forward to speaking with you guys more on our next episode.
Thank you, guys. We'll see you next time, and go Magic!
Yeah.